Rap and media mogul Jay-Z now accused of raping a 13-year-old girl in 2000 along with Sean Diddy Combs.
Jay-Z has finally broken his silence and his words are making waves. The music mogul isn't just brushing off the shocking accusations tied to a controversial lawsuit involving P. Diddy, he's demanding an emergency hearing to clear his name now. But here's something more shocking. His legal team is pointing out glaring inconsistencies in the accuser's story, raising questions about what's really going on behind the scenes. Is this just another attempt to drag Jay-Z into the fallout of Diddy's Hollywood mess? Or is there more to this story than meets the eye? Stick around because the twists in this legal drama are about to expose some jaw-dropping truths. The lawsuit that shook Hollywood. Jay-Z, one of the most iconic and influential names in the music industry, has found himself at the center of a jaw-dropping and deeply unsettling lawsuit. The allegations stem from an incident that supposedly occurred more than 2 decades ago during an after-party for the Video Music Awards in the year 2000. This wasn't just any glamorous Hollywood event, it was a high-profile gathering of celebrities now overshadowed by dark, disturbing claims. According to the anonymous accuser, who we can refer to as Jane Doe, she was only 13 years old at the time. She alleges that she was assaulted by none other than Sean Diddy Combs and Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter. These two figures aren't just music icons, they are powerhouses whose names resonate far beyond the entertainment world. The gravity of their involvement makes these allegations even more explosive. But beyond the fame and reputations, this is about serious accusations that demand attention and accountability. The lawsuit was initially filed in October and named only Diddy. At that point, the accuser referred to another alleged participant as Celebrity A. For weeks, speculation swirled around who this Celebrity A could be, as the identity remained a mystery. Then, in a bombshell twist, an amended complaint surfaced identifying Jay-Z as Celebrity A. To make matters even more perplexing, the accuser's filing also mentions a second mysterious figure, Celebrity B, a woman who was allegedly present in the room during the assault. The accuser claims she stood by and watched as the events unfolded. The allegations contained in this lawsuit are nothing short of incendiary. They've sparked a firestorm of speculation and scrutiny, leaving many to wonder who Celebrity B could be and what, if any, their role might have been. The disturbing details of the accuser's story have painted a deeply unsettling picture, and the star power of those involved has made this case one of the most talked about and high-profile legal battles in Hollywood in recent memory. The unthinkable connection Jay-Z and Diddy. How could two of the most influential figures in the music world, known for their success and efforts to uplift others, find themselves entangled in such a harrowing case? Jay-Z, a man who has built a career on lyrical storytelling, philanthropy, and advocating for social justice, now faces allegations that threaten to tarnish his public image and legacy. The connection between Jay-Z and Diddy has left many people bewildered. Both men rose to fame in the 1990s hip-hop scene in New York, with Combs founding Bad Boy Records and helping launch the career of the notorious Big, while Carter co-founded Rockefeller Records and released his debut album in 1996. They appeared on each other's tracks, collaborated on major projects, became well-known and wealthy entrepreneurs whose influence stretched far beyond hip-hop. Jay-Z built Roc Nation in 2008, which has since grown into a powerful entertainment and management company, contributing to his staggering net worth of $2.5 billion according to Forbes. Diddy, too, has built an empire largely fueled by his successful partnership with a vodka brand, also estimated by Forbes to contribute significantly to his wealth. But now their names are forever tied to something much darker and far more serious than anything their fans could have imagined. It's no wonder that Jay-Z has demanded an emergency hearing over P. Diddy's lawsuit, asserting his innocence and vowing to clear his name. Could it be that his response, delivered swiftly and forcefully, speaks volumes about the stakes of this case? Jay-Z's immediate reaction. As soon as this news broke, Jay-Z, through his record label Roc Nation, wasted no time issuing a firm denial. From the moment the lawsuit surfaced, it became clear that Jay-Z had been expecting his name to be dragged into this mess, likely due to a breakdown in negotiations surrounding the case. But why would Jay-Z, who's built a reputation on integrity and philanthropy, seemingly know in advance that his name was about to surface? In his statement, Jay-Z didn't hold back, pointing fingers at Tony Busby, the Texas attorney who has already filed multiple lawsuits against Sean Combs, accusing him of trying to blackmail Jay-Z. Jay-Z boldly stated, "I have no idea how you've become such a deplorable human being, Mr. Busby, but I promise you, I've seen your kind many times over. I'm more than prepared to deal with your type. Was Jay-Z truly prepared because he had already been dealing with these allegations behind the scenes? Was this just his way of countering a threat he felt was looming? Jay-Z went on to criticize Busby for allegedly threatening him, saying, "You claim to be a Marine. Marines are known for their valor. You have neither honor nor dignity." This wasn't just a legal response, it was a full-on challenge to Busby's character. Jay-Z's words were clear. He wasn't going to back down from these allegations or from Busby's tactics. This statement sent shockwaves through Hollywood, demonstrating just how far Jay-Z was willing to go to clear his name. Adding fuel to the fire, reports from the New York Times revealed that Jay-Z had previously sued Tony Busby under the name John Doe for extortion and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Back then, the identity of John Doe remained a mystery, but now it's come to light that Jay-Z was the one behind that lawsuit. Why would Jay-Z go to such lengths to protect his reputation? Was this lawsuit the result of something far deeper than anyone realized? Clearly, Jay-Z saw Busby's attempts at intimidation as an effort to coerce him into silence or settlement. But if he was truly innocent, why fight so fiercely behind the scenes? Jay-Z's legal team has been swift and aggressive in their response, aiming to dismantle the claims against him. His lawyers argue that these accusations are not just untrue, but a dangerous attempt to smear his reputation. Hollywood's messy web. Let's take a moment to pause and reflect on the complex culture of lawsuits and scandals that seem to be woven into the fabric of Hollywood. The entertainment industry, known for its glamour and glitz, is often the backdrop for stories of fame, wealth, and power, but beneath the surface lies a world where secrets can fester and scandals explode, sending shockwaves through the public. Lawsuits like the one involving Jay-Z and Diddy aren't exactly rare in Hollywood. In fact, the entertainment industry has long been a battleground for accusations, legal battles, and damaging revelations. Whether it's disputes over money, power, or personal misconduct, the stakes are often high and the consequences can be severe. So what's different about this case? Could it be that this lawsuit is more than just another headline, or is there real truth to these claims? Cracks in the story? Well, things are starting to get a bit shaky now. Reports are surfacing that there are some inconsistencies in the accuser's memory of what exactly happened that night, the night she claims Jay-Z and Diddy assaulted her. Jay-Z's legal team has jumped on these inconsistencies, arguing that the whole case should be dismissed. Let's take a step back and recap what the Jane Doe accuser initially said happened back in year 2000, shall I? And according to her story, she was just 13 years old when she was dropped off at Radio City Music Hall in New York City, where, the Video Music Awards, VMAs, were taking place. Right? She claimed she didn't have a ticket, so she wandered around maybe hoping to catch a glimpse of a celebrity or two. Instead, she allegedly ran into one of Diddy's bodyguards, who reportedly told her to come back later that night, saying he'd take her to a home where Diddy was throwing an after party. Once she arrived at that house, Jane Doe says she felt woozy and disoriented after drinking what she believed was a drug-laced drink. She then claimed that when she went to lie down in a room, that's when the assault took place. According to the lawsuit, Diddy entered the room alongside Jay-Z and a mysterious woman referred to as Celebrity B. Jane Doe says she recognized all three of them. She described Diddy as acting aggressively, grabbing her with a crazy look and saying, "You're ready to party." Then she claims Diddy threw her against the wall, knocking her down. After that, she says Jay-Z started removing her clothes as she grew increasingly disoriented. Eventually, Jane Doe alleges that both Diddy and Jay-Z assaulted her before she managed to escape. But now things are starting to unravel. Of recent, Jane Doe spoke to NBC News in an interview where she admitted her story might not be as solid as she once claimed. She was quoted saying, "I've made some mistakes," though she insists she stands by the allegations overall. However, she acknowledges that since this all allegedly happened 24 years ago, some details may have been lost to time. So what exactly are these inconsistencies? Well, Jane Doe said after the alleged assault, she ran away from the home and found a gas station where she claims she used a phone to call her dad to come pick her up. Here's the problem. Her father told NBC News he has no memory of this ever happening. He said if he had picked her up, it would have been a 5-hour drive, yet he had never heard about this alleged attack until reporters came asking questions. And if that wasn't enough, Jane Doe also claims she saw or spoke with Benji Madden, the lead guitarist for Good Charlotte, at this VMA's after party. But Madden's representatives confirmed to NBC News that he was on tour in the Midwest at that time, further casting doubt on her story. It's these inconsistencies that have given Jay-Z and his legal team some serious ammunition, leaving many wondering how much of Jane Doe's version of events can be trusted. A call to withdraw allegations. With all of this now coming to light, Alex Spiro, Jay-Z's high-powered attorney, fired back with a letter to the judge calling the allegations a sham. Spiro argues that Jane Doe's story simply doesn't hold water. She claims the assault took place at an after party at Mr. Combs' home, Spiro said, but photos from that night show Mr. Combs and Mr. Carter at Lotus nightclub for the after party. When pressed, the plaintiff admitted she was guessing about key details, including the time it took to reach the venue. She admits she has no single corroborating witness over the last 24 years. That's a powerful point. Of course, one could argue that maybe they went to Lotus, but perhaps they also attended another after party. Still, the inconsistencies in Jane Doe's account raise serious doubts. On top of that, NBC News reported that they tried to track down a friend who allegedly drove Jane Doe to the VMAs that night, but it appears that person has since passed away. Attempts to contact the friend's relatives were unsuccessful, leaving yet another crucial gap in the timeline. Jay-Z himself told NBC that this incident didn't happen, and while he didn't explicitly file a motion to dismiss the case, his attorney Tony Buzbee filed it in court and has been very vocal about it. Buzbee made a bold statement saying, "True justice is coming. We fight from victory, not for victory. This was over before it began." So how does Tony Buzbee respond to these claims? He released a statement defending himself saying, "Look, Jane Doe's case was referred to me by another firm where her story had already been vetted." Buzbee wrote, "Our client remains fiercely adamant that what she has stated is true to the best of her memory. We will continue to vet her claims and collect corroborating data to the extent it exists. Because we've interrogated her intensely, she has even agreed to submit to a polygraph. I've never had a client suggest that before." It's an interesting response. In my opinion, there seems to be a hint of doubt creeping into Buzbee's argument, perhaps a recognition that there are holes in Jane Doe's story. But for her part, Jane Doe remains firm, defending herself in her version of events. She told NBC, "You should always fight for what happened to you. You should always advocate for yourself and be a voice for yourself. You should never let what somebody else did ruin or run your life. I just hope I can give others the strength to come forward like I came forward." At the heart of this case is more than just Jay-Z and Diddy's reputations. It's about the pursuit of justice and the blurred line between truth and doubt. If Jane Doe's story proves to be inconsistent, it could set a significant precedent, leaving others wondering if they too should think twice before speaking out. On the other hand, if her claims hold some weight, it raises broader conversations about accountability, particularly for powerful figures in Hollywood. The emergency hearing, why now? Attorney Alex Spiro, who represents Jay-Z, has filed an emergency motion that has sent shockwaves through the legal world. But what exactly does this motion mean? In simple terms, it's a request to the court demanding that Jane Doe and her attorney, Tony Buzbee, explain why this lawsuit shouldn't be dismissed entirely, or at the very least, why key pieces of evidence should be preserved. This bold move by Spiro speaks volumes about the growing concerns surrounding this lawsuit. Let's break it down further. So in the memorandum supporting Spiro's motion, investigators and reporters have uncovered details that contradict the accuser's claims made more than 20 years ago. This is where things start to get messy. The key point Spiro raises is that Jane Doe's allegations fall apart when put under scrutiny. The memorandum outlines glaring inconsistencies in her story. For example, Doe describes the Jumbotron at the scene of the alleged assault during the Video Music Awards in the year 2000. But according to NYPD sources and MTV producers, there was no Jumbotron. MTV had applied for a permit to install one, but it was denied, so the Jumbotron just didn't exist. On top of that, Jane Doe refers us to a house that supposedly matches the description of the location where the alleged assault took place. The problem? There's no such house. So what we have here are details that simply don't add up, raising serious doubts about the authenticity of her story. Spiro isn't pulling punches. In his motion, he accuses Tony Buzbee, the attorney for Jane Doe, of possibly destroying evidence. Spiro argues that if Buzbee truly believed in the validity of his client's claims, there wouldn't be such glaring holes in the case. The filing reads, "The fundamental inconsistencies in plaintiff's case revealed in that NBC interview, coupled with Buzbee's chronic inability to follow the rules in this case and others, create a substantial risk that Buzbee will destroy evidence damaging to plaintiff's case, including evidence of his own misconduct, impairing the integrity of the judicial process." In simple terms, Spiro is saying Buzbee might try to cover his tracks if things start looking bad for his client. This is a serious accusation, and it suggests that the case could be more about misconduct than seeking justice. The memorandum also goes after Busby for not conducting his due diligence. Spiro claims that Busby simply relied on another firm's vetting process before presenting the case. Spiro points out, but no one from the other firm signed the pleadings in this case. Busby did. In other words, Spiro is accusing Busby of not doing the necessary legwork and just pushing the case forward, leaving JayZ to fend off accusations based on flimsy evidence. Under Rule 11 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, lawyers are prohibited from filing lawsuits for improper purposes. It's meant to ensure that claims have solid backing and aren't just thrown around for harassment or to pressure someone into settling. Spiro argues that this lawsuit is serving no other purpose than to harass JayZ and pressure him to settle based on false claims. The memorandum continues, the court should dismiss plaintiff's entire face, that is, the first amended complaint, and at minimum, strike the allegations contained therein referencing Mr. Carter and dismiss him from this action. In plain terms, Spiro is essentially saying throw out the whole case or at least get JayZ off of it. This is a bold move, especially when dealing with such high-profile names. So why all the urgency? Well, Spiro filed this motion the day before, suggesting that the court meet at 9:01 a.m. the next day to address the issue. At the time of this recording, there's no official word on whether the hearing took place, but rest assured we'll keep you updated on any developments as they unfold. This whole situation feels like something straight out of a drama, doesn't it? Two of the biggest names in the music world, JayZ and Diddy, being pulled into allegations that seem to lack clear evidence. Whether the court takes action or not, one thing is for sure, the stakes are incredibly high, not just for JayZ, but for the credibility of the legal system itself. Thanks for watching, fam. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. While you're here, check out the next video that pops up on your screen.